Number two, we have an emotional body. We have emotions, and they're just not the same as the physical. They are physical. They can be measured. They have weight. They have substance. They have color. Those that see astrally definitely see the colors. And the colors can be anything from light to dark. They can be very shiny and translucent, and they can be very black and very ominous, depending on our state of mind. Emotions are things, and we know our emotions affect our physical body. We know that something takes place within our physical body that isn't very good when we're angry. And we can be angry at another individual, but what we're hurting and who we're hurting at the present time that we're angry is our own physical bodies. That's what we're having a problem with. So we have to understand that we must control our emotions so that we don't injure our physical bodies. They must work together in harmony. There must be harmony between the emotions and the physical body, although they're both physical. The next level is the mental body. And the mental body is also physical. It's not as physical as the physical body, but it still is concrete. There's thoughts, there's ideas, there's images. It's physical. It's not as physical as the emotional, but it's still part of the physical makeup of us. There's mentality, there's emotion, there's physical, corporeal, what we call corporeal body. And what happens is we can have a thought. And depending on the nature of the thought, we have an emotional reaction, which rules desire body. And if left unchecked, the physical body goes into operation. So what are the thoughts we think? On the physical plane. On the physical plane. Because those thoughts start fueling our emotions and fuel our physical body. And we tend to think that's what it's about. We cannot equate physical, emotional, or mental with soul or spirit. They're not the same. They can be one whole unit, but if we're operating strictly from the mind, then our soul starves to death. And our soul, if it operates by itself, starves to death. It must operate in conjunction with spirit. And the ideal is that all of this works in harmony with each other. But it works from the top down. It starts with spirit, works through soul, works through mind, works through emotion, and then on into the physical. Virtually the entire planet goes the other direction. Their chief concern is the physical. And the scripture is clear, and clear in many places. You can't serve them both. You can't serve the physical and God. And it was quite clear by Jesus, as you serve God, the physical is taken care of. Now we think many times that first off what we have to do is we have to go around and we have to build this physical empire. In fact, I remember, well, it's more than once that people have said to me that I'm going to go out and I'm going to create all this financial wealth. And then I can take my time and take care of my spiritual self. They have no idea what they're talking about. They have neglected who and what they are. This is the predominant way of life of mankind. There's a certain segment of mankind that's terribly worried about their emotions and not hurting. Someone does something and they say, "You hurt my feelings." I remember many years ago, I had an individual that worked for me, and as you know, I have a law license and I was practicing law, and it turns out he was using my license on the side and taking money from people and filing lawsuits without my knowledge. And so when he was terminated, he told me I hurt his feelings. I didn't care much about his feelings. But the point of it is that in his world, he thought the concept of me hurting his feelings should stop me from acting in any way, shape, or form, even to the point of my own protection. That's how some people view feelings, as the most important thing there is. Other people view the mentality as the most important thing, and that the mentality runs everything through logic. I mentioned earlier to a few of you that Einstein believed that intuition was the most important thing. Not our mental thoughts, but that which we intuit from the spiritual plane. And that's what we have to act upon. And we all know Einstein's achievements and the things that he did. So what happens to the rest of us? Why are there a few operating from spirit and so many operating from the physical or emotional level? And there's a lot too operating from the mental level, but it's just another form of the physical. They just deem to control the emotional physical body through the mental. And it is a higher form of consciousness. There are numerous people on this planet that equate emotion and soul. And emotion is closer to soul than the physical body because it's less physical. But the mental body is closer to soul than the emotional body. But it's still part of the physical makeup. It's not soul. You must get off the mental level to get to the soul level. And you must use your soul in a fashion to divine spirit, to bring it about in your life. Any other means of proceeding does not fulfill who and what you are. Our scripture today talks about an individual that lived on the physical plane. And he fulfilled all his physical desires. And when he crossed over to the other side, what happened to him? Why was he having a problem? I mean, it doesn't say he did anyone wrong. It doesn't say he was a thief or a bad guy or that he hurt anyone. He was just living life to the fullest. So what happened when he gets to the other side? What is trying to be revealed to us here? What's the opening we're trying to look at? And then we got Lazarus lying around doing nothing, a sick old heap that somehow makes it through life, picking up crumbs along the way, but there's no discussion what's going on inside of him. Now, he certainly did not get to the highest level on the other side through his physical actions. There must have been something else going on. Something was going on in his mentality. The first person was feeding his emotional physical body, not his brain at all. The rich man. And so when he reached the other side, if you understand that you're an evolving consciousness and that what you take with you is your consciousness, the rich man on the other side, that's all he had, partying. That's what he had on the other side. And guess what? There's no wine, and there's no new cars, and no new mansions, and nothing. There's no physical communion in that sense.